here is a story of a huge, huge a-hole. Democratic State Representative Tom Brower from Hawaii. He is going around to deal with the homeless problem by taking a sledgehammer and smashing up shopping carts that are used by homeless people to carry around their meager belongings. And what's more disgusting than what he's doing is the news coverage of it that make it like, is this one guy's taking it in his own hands. Let's cut to that now, Matt.
This is Hawaii News Now.
Does it help or hurt? Good evening, I'm Chris Tanaka.
And I'm Mileka Lincoln. A lawmaker is tackling the homeless problem and taking it into his own hands by wielding a sledgehammer to disable abandoned shopping carts. Jim Mendoza is live at Ala Moana Beach Park with the story. Jim?
Mileka, these are just some of the shopping carts that Representative Tom Brower found here abandoned at Ala Moana Beach Park in the 2 weeks that he's been doing his one-man crusade.
The man with the sledgehammer is State Representative Tom Brower. This is his contribution to solving Hawaii's homeless problem.
And I got tired of telling people, I'm trying to pass laws. I want to do something.
Now, at this point, I know you're waiting for the other shoe to drop when they say, but actually what he's doing is completely pathological. This is one man's crusade to go around and I'm putting rat poison and food in the, it's just unbelievable. But the other shoe just does not drop. It continues.
Practical that will really clean up the streets.
He scours streets and parks in his district, looking for shopping carts homeless use to store and move their items. Some he returns to stores, others he disables.
I find abandoned junk, specifically shopping carts, and I remove them. I also create a situation where those carts can't be pushed around the city.
Now, pause
I think it's a good thing.
On one hand, he says this is abandoned junk. In other words, the definition of abandoned junk is junk that nobody uses. But then he doesn't just find it, he disables it. So he knows it's being used for some purpose by some human beings who he believes, obviously, are subhuman and they should not be able to use these things. He's obviously not worried about returning the property because he's only done that with 1/4 of what he's found. The rest he destroys.
City. I think it's a good thing.
But the executive director of Mental Health America of Hawaii thinks that Brower's actions are way over the line.
His message to the public is that it's okay to commit acts of violence against homeless people, against vulnerable people. It's okay for vigilante justice.
Some are calling his method extreme and potentially dangerous.
There are some people who are maybe, I'd say a little bit not that stable and maybe drug affected that, could really react to him.
But the chairman of the Waikiki Neighborhood Board says merchants may sit up and take notice.
It might get these owners to say, hey, this has got to stop, and I'm going to start filing police complaints.
We got to get them to not take the carts.
Brower tried to explain what he was doing to this man.
To see someone just banging on stuff like that, it was very scary for me.
I don't want to be threatening to anybody, but I think it's threatening to steal things and then walk around with them like it's their own.
Brower says he had...
Now, he's not threatening anybody as he goes around with a sledgehammer and smashing these things. But the idea of someone walking around with a shopping cart, that's a huge threat to me. This guy's pathological, and this reporter is like, here we're going to go to some bleeding heart liberal who works with the homeless, and of course she's going to say this is wrong. But then we're going to go to someone else who's going to say these people are psychologically deranged, and they could go off at any moment. This is just unbelievable.
Because only someone who's psychologically deranged would get a bit angry at someone destroying their stuff.
Well, only someone who works with the homeless would actually care about these people as human beings. And only someone who's deranged would have a problem with some guy who's not deranged, for walking around the neighborhood with a sledgehammer, smashing shopping carts. He's not deranged. He's not the deranged one. This is just unbelievable.
Has yet to take a cart from a homeless person who's pushing it, but that may be coming. He supports other efforts to remove abandoned property. This is his way of pitching in.
Positive. This is his way of pitching in and lending a hand to oppress these people who have virtually nothing.
And we are back here live now. If you wondered what he does with that sledgehammer, he knocks in the tires like on this shopping cart right here, so they can't be pushed around the city streets again. So far, he has destroyed about 30 shopping carts, and he piles them up for the city to take away. He has returned about 6 of them to merchants. Reporting live at Ala Beach Park, I'm Jim Mendoza, Hawaii News Now.
Pause it. And if you're wondering how you can get into the act, all you need to do is go down to the hardware store and smash a couple of these things and then leave it around for the city to pick up. Back to you at the studio.
All right, thank you, Jim. Now it's time for you to weigh in on Representative Brower's approach towards the homeless issue. Is he right or reckless? Post your comments now on our Hawaii News Now Facebook page.
Diet pill.
There you go. Well, as long as we're going to get some questions on our Facebook page about this, is he right to destroy other people's property? I mean, even if it isn't his. I mean, even if it isn't the homeless person's that he says it is. I mean, how can it both be abandoned and being used by a homeless person? If it's abandoned, then those homeless people have every right to take it. If it's not abandoned, then what right does he have to destroy the supermarket's property? It's unbelievable. Apparently, there was an update after this came out, and I imagine some people on the Facebook page said, hey, Representative Brower, you're a psychopath. He agreed to stop destroying homeless people's possessions. I'm not trying to attack the homeless. I'm trying to attack the issue of cleanliness. But some people interpret it as an attack on the homeless. I'm trying to attack the issue of cleanliness. The point was that I was trying to make has been made. Now that the issue of shopping carts is on our minds, the question is, are we going to move forward and try to solve it or just let it become the status quo? This guy is a psychopath. Unbelievable. We just can't have the beautiful visage of Hawaii, the Aloha State, marred by these very dirty people with shopping carts. And so the best thing to do is to smash the shopping carts and pay them to leave. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I'm not making a direct comparison, obviously, but I told you guys about how Manuel Castells reported years ago that the Cali drug cartel in Cali, Colombia, they used to do these campaigns with local police where they would kill homeless people and people on the street. And then they would hang signs that said, clean Cali, beautiful Cali. And I'm like, how would that be covered here? I mean, after you listen to a report like that.
A local business entrepreneur has a interesting suggestion how to clean up Cali.
Too tough, but this boss of a global drug cartel says it's exactly what Cali needs. Back to you,
right.
Karen.
And, of course, some local law enforcement officials question whether this is the best approach, but, of course, they would. Weigh in on our Facebook page.
Should homeless teenagers in Cali be killed? Or is it excessive? Or should they be bussed to the mountains?
Is that too extreme?
I wonder how they would cover the story of a homeless guy seeing this happen to his items and approaching the guy, and the guy taking a sledgehammer to his head because he was scared for his life. A vicious
homeless man approached someone who was simply doing his best to clean up the area by destroying all his property. Just unbelievable.